Everyone, it's Rebecca Gabriel here from Living with Spice. Thank you so much for joining me on my YouTube channel, Living with Spice. I have decided that it's about time that I start to share my card readings. My friends and family have been asking about it for quite some time, and I just feel like I'm in that space now, ready to give you or pass on some beautiful spiritual guidance, and hopefully that is of use to you. So we're going to start today with a brief card reading using the Wisdom of the Oracle deck by Colette Baron-Reid, and I might actually pull a couple of cards from Doreen Virtue's Flower Therapy, and we'll see how we go anyway. So it's actually the long weekend in October, and it's a beautiful day in Australia. We're heading into spring, but honestly today feels like summer. I've already been for an amazing coastal walk, so we're really feeling the vibe of the warm weather and the sunny days. So it's a good time for me to be able to start this and share some guidance with you for the week coming up. Okay, so I'm just going to move my camera so you get a chance to see the cards that I am shuffling today, and then we're going to just place them on the table in front of me. Okay, so I'm just going to shuffle these here. They have been pre-shuffled, and I do pray over the cards for divine guidance, that the right message comes through for you today, a message that's going to help you for the week ahead. So today is the 1st of October, so this will be the next 5 to 7 days. I'm going to pull 3 cards to start with. So we have 3 cards, Spirit, for some guidance for the week ahead. Thank you. So some cards, please, for the guidance ahead. Okay. All right. Okay, so typically with a 3-card spread, we would expect that the first card here on the left is just where our energy has been in the recent past. So we have, let me just adjust that there. Okay. We have come to the edge. And then we have happy, happy. Beautiful. I'm not reading reversed cards today. And then we have flexible. All right, so with the first card here, Spirit is asking us to really take a leap of faith, take a risk in a positive sense of stretching ourselves beyond our usual comfort boundaries, because we're going to be pleasantly surprised at the beautiful things that are going to come into our awareness as a result. This is a very free-flowing card here, so you can see that she's standing on the edge here, right on the edge, and she's just about to leap into the unknown. But there's this promise of great things coming. So you can see there's a whole heap of beautiful hearts that are flowing down here, and you've got the sun peering behind the clouds there. So whilst things may have felt very confusing in recent times, Spirit is asking us to embrace this new period of change that's coming into our life, and step right on the edge and be prepared to trust and have faith and go with the opportunities that are presenting before us. So I'm just going to see what guidance, extra guidance we can receive in our deck here from the book. Yes, so Spirit is actually encouraging us to have courage and to take that leap of faith. And even if we are experiencing some fear, embrace the fear and take the risk. So, we do need to have courage when we are facing change and we don't know what's out there. And it really is about taking a risk that's not too calculated. and just having faith and just letting go of fear, and really to express our true self, to listen to our heart, to listen to our intuition and our soul, rather than getting back into our head and overanalyzing the facts before we make a move. Now's the time to really have that feeling of wanting to fly. And this comes from, a place of inspiration. When you tap into the things that you most love, you feel inspired. Well, Spirit's asking us to trust that, to go with what we truly love, rather than to overthink or overanalyze things, because we tend to shut ourselves down when we do that, and we limit the possibilities and the opportunities. In terms of possible new relationships that may present to us coming up, we're actually being asked to put aside our fear about being open and vulnerable with someone, and to really speak our truth and allow them to see the real person, not the facade that we may present to other people. But let your guard down. Now's that time to sort of take that risk and allow yourself to be truly seen as the person that you are. And in terms of if you are going for a new job or there's a change in your job role, this is also a perfect moment to take a risk. You may be offered something that may feel a little bit of a stretch for you, but Spirit is encouraging you to go for it, to have the courage despite your fears, because you're going to be pleasantly surprised. It's going to be a way for you to be able to grow, and you've got all the resources that you need. So now is the time to take that step. This is very exciting times, with obviously change in the wind, and Spirit is really encouraging us to sort of go with that and to set aside our fear and really tap into our true self and what we love to do and have faith. So then we move to the next card, Happy, Happy. And she certainly does look very happy. She looks like a child does at a party, very whimsical and throwing caution to the wind. It really is about being in the moment and experiencing the joys. Again, not being in our head and not overthinking things. So I think that's really tapping into the child within. Sometimes we just get so caught up in our head that we forget how to be childlike. And, when we go into that space of letting everything go, that's the space of creativity. That's the space where we remember what we love, and we remember who we are as a real person on the inside, without having to overthink how we present to the rest of the world. So again, this really is a lovely complement to the first card, about really sort of now is the time of just remembering the true you. Let's just see what the guidance is in our book. So yes, it is all about joy and contentment, a sense of fulfillment and a feeling that all is well. So we're being encouraged. All of our desires, the things that we've been hoping for, are going to come to fruition. Yes, it's about being in the moment and enjoying whatever that moment is and what it's bringing to us, and being satisfied with things exactly as they are, without going into that space of wishing or wanting things to be different. Just to truly enjoy what is in our life at the moment. It could be the people, it could be the people around us, it could be our circumstances, it could be just wherever it is that you are right now listening to this video. What can you sense and feel that you're grateful for? So in terms of relationships, it's a little reminder to bring us back to those moments in our relationship where we feel really good about who we are and who we're with. And, in that space, our heart is wide open, and there are no barriers to our communication. We're feeling free and uninhibited. And we're really not in a space of wishing and wanting about how things could be better, past or future. It's really about how things are really great right now. And that really takes conscious effort to appreciate what we have right now. In terms of our prosperity, this is very much a time to take pride in your accomplishments. You're doing really great work right now, and so it's really important to acknowledge yourself for what you have achieved. And so that's a good reminder for now. Remember though, you're never alone with what you are creating in your life. Spirit is your co-creator. You're partnering with Spirit, and that's a really good thing for us to remember. So really, it's a time to lighten up, be less serious, see the world through the eyes of a clown or children, and really enjoy the moments. Our last card is called Flexibility. So in the same spirit of the reading so far, it's really moving away from having a rigid attitude or a rigid mindset. And really, whatever our circumstances are, be flexible. Sometimes things don't always go to plan. And the card is reminding us, or Spirit is reminding us, to be open to new perspectives or different ways of being, or different ways of thinking. So if an opportunity presents to you in the job aspect, career, be open to what may be offered as a suggestion rather than be focused on having a set idea about what a job improvement could be for you. In terms of relationships, again, it's a reminder that we need to be sort of a little bit more accepting of not just ourselves but how other people are, and embracing our differences. And especially with communication, is being flexible, being a good listener, being patient. It's not about compromising who you are, but sometimes we just need to sort of take our hands off the wheel and be a little bit more accommodating, or be willing to see things through a different lens. So we'll just check what the guidance is in the book for this one. So certainly when we adopt a flexible approach in life, we're being teachable. It means we're willing to see things differently. We're willing to learn and be open-minded about things, and more adaptable without necessarily compromising our own values or what's important to us. So a tree's roots, it says here, a tree's roots are solidly planted in the ground, yet its branches can bend in a hurricane. So being flexible is not about being uncertain or ungrounded. Certainly it's important to have good, strong foundation and good roots in our life and in our circumstances, but there are times where it requires us to be flexible, so we can weather the storms and weather the changes, and we can be adaptable, a little bit like bamboo in the wind. So we can be strong and uncompromising but flexible at the same time. So this is all about being open to new ways of thinking and being curious, rather than resistant. So in terms of relationships, it's important to be open to new experiences and learning things, and perhaps get off our soapbox and maybe be prepared to listen to other ways of how other people express themselves and their ideas. So, maybe meeting a halfway approach. With your job, even though you may have a very clear idea about what you want to achieve or the path you want to take, sometimes we may need to adjust our thinking. So relax, sit back, be open to other possibilities. Spirit definitely will guide you down the path that's going to be better for you and serve you and serve you well. So just remember this week, going forward, be flexible and open. Okay, so a very positive reading. It sounds like we're definitely on the precipice of change, but it's really encouraging us to approach change positively and to really see it as a way of being able to improve our circumstances, having courage even if we're a little fearful, stepping out, tapping into what we love, listening to our heart and our soul for guidance rather than getting stuck in our head. Taking on sort of like a joyful, childlike attitude and being open to new possibilities, being curious, enjoying the moment, being in the moment. So not being too hooked up on the past or our future about what we think should be or shouldn't be. So just being open and having a lightheartedness about the changes that we may be experiencing, whether it be in relationships or in our career. And of course, lastly, the need to be flexible. Encouragement to, yes, it's good to have strong foundations, but at the same time, without compromising your values, be flexible, be open, and be curious. Okay, fantastic. So I might just maybe pull a card from one other deck, or maybe 3 cards. Let's see. I have a number of cards I like to choose from. So I think that given that we've got some really beautiful guidance around some changes that are coming up for us, I might actually pull a couple of cards from the Wisdom of Avalon. It's actually Colette Baron Reid's one as well. So let's do that. So we'll just shuffle the cards. And we ask Spirit to please clarify the cards that we have on the table today, the guidance that has been given to us for this week coming. Just give us a little bit more in-depth information about how to approach this week and clearly the changes that are being presented to us, perhaps some beautiful new opportunities, and how we can make the most of our week as we embrace changes in our life, either in relationships or in our job. Thank you. Okay, so on the first card, we have the Raven. Second card, Forgiveness. And then lastly, Joy. That's great. So the first one with Raven. Raven points to synchronistic events in our life. So I'm sensing that it's going to be opportunities are going to come up which may be a little bit of a surprise, but as we all know, there are no coincidences in life. The universe is working to help us through some changes at the moment, and the Raven is helping us to realize we're going to get clues along the way to highlight that things are not a coincidence. And when synchronistic events happen, it may be you get a phone call from someone, or this person has made a suggestion to speak to that person, or this email matches something that somebody else said. Things just suddenly seem to line up in some way. Well, these are signs that we need to pay attention to this week. Clearly this is going, and if we do, this is going to help us with the changes that we may be embracing. So look at the signs, notice them. Notice when things seem to suddenly link up or flow. There's good reason for it. Spirit is guiding us and supporting us along the way as we're experiencing some change in our life at the minute. So the guidance of the book here says, when the raven appears, it's a sign of magic, where coincidence and divine synchronicity bring surprising elements together. The raven reminds you that on the path to wholeness, the magic of Avalon appears and all things become possible. It's really embracing possibility here. Ask the raven to help you be aware of synchronicity in your life and to see how the god or goddess works anonymously on your path. If you feel hopeless or lost, you may need reminding that this kind of magic occurs in your life daily, even if you can't see it. Trust it to bring joy, understanding and fulfillment to your life, no matter what the present circumstances appear to be. Remember, the raven says, believe in magic and you cannot help but see it. Magic lives within the belief itself. Expect the unexpected and prepare to be amazed. Certainly when we're open to possibilities, we draw more of that to us. If we are closed to the signs or the open doors or the possibilities, then they pass us by. So that's lovely. Be aware, look out for those signs that are there to help us. The next card is forgiveness. Perhaps with the change that's coming our way, either through relationship or job, if things have been a little rocky or turbulent or haven't quite worked out the way you expected and you're moving from one thing to another, maybe from one relationship to moving on or moving on from a job, now might be the time to forgive the circumstances or people involved or even yourself, to move on or transition from a positive place. You know, it's never about burning bridges. It's about being appreciative for what has been and to look at the soul lessons that have been there and the way previous circumstances have benefited you. So that's what I'm sensing that the guidance around forgiveness is, but we'll check what the book has to say for us. So this marker says that you must now search your heart for any unresolved resentment, anger or disagreements between you and another person. So clearly when we know we're entering a phase of moving on, it's so important that we resolve any issues where we may have been angry or upset or had any disagreements, so that we can get past any hurt and release any negative energy around the situation. It's so important for when we're moving forward to other opportunities. Because unless we do take the time to forgive and let go, it will prevent us from growing and prevent us from moving forward in the best possible way. Holding on to resentment and anger, will keep us bound to those events and bound to those negative situations. So certainly nothing comes good from holding on to bitterness or anger or hurt. Okay. All right, so practicing forgiveness so that we can move on. And then finally, the card of joy. And in this card here, you will see that there is at the front here a symbol of the sun. So certainly very positive times on the journey ahead, and abundance. So good times are coming. So the reading is clearly pointing to changes, the importance of staying in a positive mind frame and being open to new possibilities, flexible to the way things will turn out rather than having a fixed idea about how things should be, either in relationships or in our job. Being aware of the signs that are there to help us along the way, how things are clicking together. It's there to guide us and help us with our decisions and choices. Ensuring that we release all negativity as we move on and resolve any hurts or disagreements. And if we do, if we can do that, then we're guaranteeing the best possible outcome. And here Spirit's saying to us it's joy. So joy is about fulfillment, happiness, and abundance. It may not always be financial, but it's certainly being in a state of contentment. So we'll just see what the deck says about the card joy. So certainly a time for celebration. The completion of a project, or perhaps a completion of having made a very courageous decision to move on from a relationship, or moving job roles in order to improve your circumstances. So this is celebration for achieving your goal. You have had some difficult times, and this is a really fantastic outcome. So, and of course, with the celebration comes the gratitude for all that is. So there's a real sense of upliftment with this card, and we're sort of moving from a very gloomy, wintry period of our life to now more opportunity and certainly more blessings and happiness in our life. So I'm going to leave it at that. It's a really lovely reading, very positive reading, and some beautiful guidance on how we can go through the changes in the best way possible so that we can experience a really wonderful outcome. So I hope that is helpful for you today, and I've enjoyed giving this reading to you. I hope you've enjoyed it and it's been helpful to you, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.